There comes a moment when you realize childhood has faded and you're left with the weight of your choices. Growing up isn't about birthdays, it's about the realization that no one's coming to save you. Adulthood hits when you stop dreaming of what you'll be and start working on who you are. The magic of youth fades, but it makes room for the wisdom of reality. Being grown means finding comfort in discomfort and strength in uncertainty. You're not a kid anymore when nostalgia feels heavier than hope. Adulthood begins when your dreams become plans, and your plans require sacrifices. Growing up is the art of letting go while holding on to what matters. As a kid, you chase stars. As an adult, you build ladders to reach them. The hardest part of growing up is realizing how much of it is letting go of who you were. You're not a kid anymore when silence speaks louder than words. Adulthood is realizing that freedom comes with responsibility, not ease. As a child, time was infinite. As an adult, every second counts. You know you've grown when apologies replace excuses and actions replace words. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It throws adulthood at you without warning. Being grown means realizing that someday is today. As a kid, happiness was simple. As an adult, simplicity brings happiness. The end of childhood is not marked by age, but by the weight of reality. You're not a kid anymore when the questions outnumber the answers. Adulthood is the journey of unlearning what you thought life was about. As a child, you dream of growing up. As an adult, you wish you could dream like a child again. The innocence of youth is replaced by the resilience of adulthood. You're not a kid anymore when you start understanding your parents. Growing up is the realization that the hero you needed was always inside you. Adulthood teaches you to find strength in vulnerability and power in kindness. You're not a kid anymore when regret starts to feel heavier than hope. The beauty of growing up lies in becoming the person you once admired. Adulthood is not about having it all together. It's about learning to hold on when everything falls apart. The magic of youth fades, but the fire of ambition burns brighter. You know you've grown when you start cherishing the little things. As a kid, you fear monsters under the bed. As an adult, you fight them in your mind. Growing up is realizing the real adventure is in the journey, not the destination. Adulthood is not losing your dreams, but finding new ways to make them real. You're not a kid anymore when love feels like a choice, not just a feeling. Growing up means understanding that failure is not the end, but a step forward. Adulthood is the art of balancing dreams and responsibilities. You're not a kid anymore when you start looking back more than forward. As a child, you long for independence. As an adult, you cherish connection. Growing up means learning to dance with your fears instead of running from them. Adulthood is accepting that happiness comes from within, not from others. You're not a kid anymore when you stop blaming the world and start owning your story. The end of childhood is not in growing older, but in growing wiser. As a kid, you wonder what you'll be. As an adult, you wonder who you've become. Growing up is learning to find joy in the mundane and peace in the chaos. Adulthood is about building bridges where you once burned them. You're not a kid anymore when you start valuing time over things. Growing up means realizing that love is not just a feeling, but an act of will. Adulthood is realizing that the hardest battles are fought within. You're not a kid anymore when responsibility becomes your new normal. Growing up is understanding that your past shapes you, but it doesn't define you. Adulthood means making peace with the parts of yourself you once ignored. You're not a kid anymore when your dreams start costing you your comfort. As a child, you believe in fairy tales. As an adult, you write your own. Growing up means learning that life isn't fair, but it's still beautiful. Adulthood is about choosing growth over comfort and purpose over pleasure. You're not a kid anymore when you realize the value of a quiet moment. Growing up is realizing that perfection is an illusion, but progress is real. Adulthood is finding strength in your scars and power in your vulnerability. You're not a kid anymore when you stop running from yourself and start running towards your dreams. Growing up means finding peace in the journey, not just the destination. You're not a kid anymore when you stop chasing approval and start seeking purpose. Growing up is understanding that forgiveness heals you more than anyone else. Adulthood is realizing that no one owes you anything, but you owe yourself everything.